Brother, I aim to save you a lot of pain this year by delivering this video to you. Because let me tell you firsthand, when you overspill on the bulk and you look like the photo you could see on the right, it is not a nice place to go. Do you know why? Because I look like everybody else in society. Fat and soft. And honestly, when you train, because if you watch this channel, you obviously train and you obviously have a good head on your shoulders for improvement. So now, if I was to take away your identity of someone that trains, layer you in adipose tissue and then put you into the world, let me tell you, that does not do fucking wonders for your mental health. So that is one of the main coas I intend to solve in this video. The second thing we need to understand is, what was the goal of the bulk? To put on as much tissue as we possibly could. So what we don't want to do is just send food and then you fucking just get fat because you've wasted your time anyway. Like, we've not actually built good quality muscle, which was annoyingly, because the year has gone now. That year of your youth, whatever age you are, has gone. You can't get that back, and that's a year wasted when bulking, because you'll still be around about the same amount of muscle tissue if you were to cut back down and repeat the process again. So we've got two things we need to fight against here. Not putting on tissue and just putting on way too much body fat, because when you get that fat, you'll want to cut straight away. It's just not good for your mental health as someone that is a fucking athlete. And if you watch my channel, you are an athlete. Let me tell you that for free. So the main thing we're going to go over in this video is when and how. When to increase calories, how to increase calories. And we're going to make it off smarter decisions. So the backstory to this photo. Last year, if you watch previous videos, you know I did a bulk. Started around 75. And you'd have seen me get to 83. And I was still looking okay, still looking tight. At the months leading after that, I started to push on. And I'm going to show you the exact photo that made me make this decision. Now, this photo here, when it got taken on that day, I was feeling a little bit flat. And if I can remember rightly, I'd had a little bit of digestion issues. But on that day, when I saw that photo, and the feeling of flatness, they were the signs. I was like, oh, I need to up food. That needs to happen. Food needs to go up. And maybe it did. But where I'm going with this is one of the biggest mistakes I made probably multiple times in the last year of bulking was making stupid decisions based off feel. I feel flat, so I'm going to up my food. The feeling of flat, and to put it into simple terms, the feeling of flat makes you feel like you're skinny and you're like, oh, this isn't working, or I'm not building any muscle, or this is bullshit, we need to do this. And then you'll make daft decisions based on that. You've probably experienced that yourself. Feeling skinny or flat, and then you bump something up to try and make something change. Honestly, just pause before you do that. I know it's hard. I know this is a game that you've been doing for a long time. So when you think, I've been doing this 3 months and I don't actually feel like I have that muscle and I feel flat and skinnier, your mind is going to go into fucking overdrive. And on it, like, if you take anything away from this video, just know we all get that feeling. We all get that feeling of flatness, of skinniness. It passes. It's just the difference in how much water and glycogen were actually sat in your muscle on that given day. So just fucking pause before you do anything like that. So as you go through your bulk, bearing in mind, if you do what I suggest, you've done a body recomp first anyway to get yourself lean, get your foundation in a good position. You're going to go for a few stages. First of all, you've got the lean, obviously ready to bulk stage. Then you've got the influx in food stage. Now this is where you look probably your best because you're lean and your glycogen stores are full to the brim. Look at those fucking arms. I wish I could keep arms like that. I mean, I will have arms like that 100% and bigger. But that's the stage you'll feel at, and that's almost like the sweet spot. And that's when you look back and think, I look better then. Why do I not look as good now? It's just because your body was so responsive to insulin and carbohydrates that it literally filled up every fucking glycogen store within your body, and you just looked like an absolute muscle machine. But then you'll also find at different points in the day and in different lighting, you also don't look the same or feel the same. Like this photo is taken at 20 or 2 minutes to 9 in the evening. Nice pose, mate. Looking a bit softer and looking fairly flat. So that will also skew off decisions when made to bulk. Then you've got post-workout where you look full again and you've had your carbs and everything looks good and rosy again. So there's another thing to consider. Now, as you push through the bulk, you are going to see your midsection start to basically deteriorate as the layer of fat starts to cover it. And we can see here that this month was July. So we were getting towards like our heaviest point here, and you can start to see everything like get covered and look slightly smaller. Who prefers my haircut like this, by the way? Food for thought. So why I bring that up and why I mention that is it will give you the perception that you're not as big as you were a few months ago. The scale's probably heavier, but then you'll just think you've got fat. Now look around the midsection, you can still see the abs, kind of. And then little, I'm not even going to say you can see the strands there, but you can see the shadow of them. So still in a fair point. If someone came to me at that point, I'd be like, well, it actually wouldn't take him that long to get back down to 10%. And always think of that, like, look at yourself objectively when you take photos and think, how long would it actually take me to get back down to 10%? So where we went from this, it gets worse and worse. But what I'm going to say is, just set your mindset, before I tell you to do anything, just set your mindset right. There are two things, in fact, I'm going to write them down for you. Okay, so before we go forward with any like tactics, get your mindset right. First of all, there will be times where you look skinny or feel skinny. It's just a feeling of flatness. It's just a feeling of not that much muscle glycogen sat in the muscle relative to what was there a week or two ago. For whatever the fucking reason is, it just happens. It'll happen to you like at least once every month or once every 6 weeks. I don't know why it happens, but it just fucking happens and it feels horrible and you will make stupid decisions off that. The next thing I will say is just don't bitch out of your bulk. Get your mindset right that it's okay. My identity is not a guy that shows his abs in the mirror because they're not going to look showable. They're going to look a little bit fluffy. They're going to have a layer of fucking fat over. And if you're anything like me that's always had a good set of abs and you like popping them and showing them off, like, that's nice. Cool, but there will be a time and a place for that, and it'll be the time and a place when you put on more muscle and then you diet back down. Get different t-shirts, honestly, when you bulk. Get like more like oversized style t-shirts that just sit on you. Don't just change the identity of how you're going to be perceived over the next few months, because what will happen is if you just put on a little bit of fat across the abs and you see them start to deteriorate a little bit, you'll just be like, right, done, right, back to cutting. And honestly, you just need to push through. Like, no one likes to do it. No one likes to put on body fat. But in order to get to the real level you need to and get the absolute most out of your bulk, like, keep pushing until you hit 18%. And don't get me wrong, when you hit 18%, you look fucking disgusting. But just keep pushing, all right? Because it will be very, very easy. What I don't want to do is give you this mindset and then you get to a certain level of body fat and you're like, right, I need to take it back down. I'm not saying that. I want you to push in as far into the bulk as you can, because look at it like you want to go and climb Everest, but if you got to base camp, that'd be fucking awesome. But like, you're at base camp, let's fucking push while we've got the capacity, the energy, the youth behind us to push to camp 1. That's what it's like when you're bulking, basically. So if you just get to base camp and really you could have pushed further, but you didn't because of mindset, I'd be very upset because you've left some fucking gains in the gym and not on your frame. So remember, the goal, we're going to put on as much muscle as we possibly can, as fast as we can, with as little fat gain as we possibly can. That is what I want to try and help you with in this video. So, the process of doing so. First and foremost, always look at the data. Just look at the data. Get someone else to look at your data. Only make decisions from the fucking data, not from feel, not from like a look one day in the gym. Photos that you take every week. Take your photos, assess your body composition. Most importantly, track your scale weight. Photos are more important as you're getting leaner into a dieting phase. Scale weight is probably more important when you're in a gaining phase, because it's hard to really see the photos week on week, month on month in a gaining phase. You should still be able to, don't get me wrong, but it's not as it's on a dieting phase. It's obvious. If you looked at 2 photos, even 1 month apart in a dieting phase, they're night and day. In a gaining phase, they're just not, because of the sheer time difference it takes to put on muscle versus shred off body fat. So look at the scale weight. So when I tell you to look at the scale weight, what are you looking for, you may ask? you are looking to see the trend across a week to 10 days to maybe even 2 weeks. So if the scale weight has sat around the same number for at least 10 days, that's a green light that you're probably ready for some food. You're probably ready for the food to increase. In the early stages, you can expect that maybe even 7 days. Mine sat for pretty much 7 days before last week, and then my coach put my food up because I was ready for more food. One of the most important metrics I always talk about when it comes to building a nice physique, you'll know the answer to this, but it's what are your lifts in the gym doing? Because ultimately that is the most important thing, and the food, let's not forget, is fuel to drive performance in the gym, and driving performance in the gym is what will build good quality muscle, and that's what we're here for. The surplus, the bulk, is a tool to assist greater gym floor performance. It's to get you to the 100-pound dumbbells on a flat dumbbell chest press. We're sat at 85s for 9 reps, so we still got a bit to go. So that's what the food is for. So it's to assist you in getting stronger, ripping the tissue, and then it growing back. And obviously replenishing the glycogen stores after you've exerted from them. And do you know what? I even just jigged my meals round yesterday, then did a session, did arms and delts. And do you know what? Towards the back end, I actually lost like that drive and that energy where I know where I've done my meals and had an extra one in beforehand. I've not. I've actually been able to fucking send it all the way through. So you can notice the difference, and that's where food will come and play its part in. Another thing I would say is, how is your appetite? If you're hungry, for sure, you should not be hungry when you're in a gaining phase. So that is also another green light to up food. So we know, what's the scale weight doing? If it's sat flat for a week, if it's going up, don't put any more food inside you. Fucking full stop. If it's sat flat, or if it's dropping, obviously, then you're going to increase food. If the numbers in the gym are going up, but the scale weight is flat, I would still just hold back a little bit on pushing food. Because if you're, and again, on average, across all lifts, what are they doing? If you go condense all your lifts and put an arrow up or down or sideways, if the average is up, I wouldn't push food just yet. I'd just wait till it was starting to feel like a little bit of resistance to even try and grind out that extra rep, then add up the food. Even if my scale weight was sat relatively flat, just to be a little bit conservative and not get too trigger happy with the food like you see your fucking mates do when they're like, oh, I'm bulking. By the way, we haven't even mentioned that, like, eat clean food, eat whole foods, eat non-processed foods. People think bulking is like, just eat whatever the fuck I want, it doesn't matter, I'm bulking. It matters. You should still have a calorie target that you're working towards. Because again, if I'm telling you to assess the data, you're then going to need to take your calorie target and move it to another calorie target. If you're just winging it, if you're not tracking any data, by the way, I don't know, I honestly can't help you. If you don't track your data, this video is basically fucking void, because what are you going to base your decisions from? It's going to go back to feel and look in the mirror, which is not really the most tangible places to go. I know, because I've been and I've done it. And visuals, so we spoke about visuals. Okay. How to increase your calories. Now, remember, you obviously are tracking your calories and your scale weight and your photos and your lifts in the gym. So you come to me and you say, right, my scale weight's that flat. I'm kind of getting an extra rep, but honestly, it's a fucking grind to try and get it out. I'm still looking fairly tight. Can I increase my food? I feel hungry enough for it. I'll be like, yes. Now it's time to increase food. We're not going to do it so fast. We're going to add 200 calories. Okay, now remember, we want to increase the performance in the gym floor. So where am I going to put those calories? In and around the workout. What type of macro am I going to put in there? Carbohydrates. 50 grams of carbs, 200 calories into the diet, and then we run that for a week or two and see what sort of change that made. If it didn't make any, obviously we didn't use enough food. If it was drastic, which probably won't be unless you're a small guy, then we can be okay, and you can work. We can change it from there. Now, I would also think longevity of this. If you're having like fucking 300 grams of oats a day, which don't get me wrong, I could do. The longevity of this is gonna just batter your stomach, your gut. So like, think about foods that digest well for you. Obviously, every human being is slightly different. Some people have gluten intolerances and shit like that. Bread is like sweet for me. I can eat that no problem. So, carbs around the workout. high GI around the workout, straight into the bloodstream, bang. Be easy to digest, easy to use. Then work outwards. So then I would also keep going in the form of carbs around meals around the workout. That makes it so cool. You got pre-post, then I'd go like meal 2 or meal 4, and I'd just keep upping the carbs in that regard. People tell you to up fats, and again, I've spoken about this in a previous video, but like, if you just push fats, it's just because you're trying to push more food inside you, and then you're thinking it just goes into the mindset of more food equals more gains, and it's not. It's the food drives performance in the gym, but carbs is what's going to drive the performance. So like, don't be so fucking trigger happy with the fats. I do get it sometimes. They are hard to get in, like more carbs, but like, remember, your body was ready for the food, remember? The scale was literally not moving. Your numbers were not climbing in the gym. An extra 200 calories in the form of 50 grams of carbs, it's not that much. I get it if you're like fucking 6 months into a bulk and you have fucking hell more pasta. But I wouldn't just... What I really did wrong is I was on like 4,500 calories and I was lacing tablespoons of olive oil just to meet the target every day. Yeah, that's not going towards my gym floor performance, and I don't even think my performance got much better towards the back end of this bulk. So don't be just thinking lace shit with calories just to get the calorie target in, because again, it takes you into the mindset of more food, more gains. That's not the case. And also, don't forget the mindset of there'll be times that you look flat and skinny. Don't make decisions from there. You will put on some body fat, but also don't bitch out, but also don't end up getting this fucking fat. If you get this fat, you're ready for a cut. Fact. So it's a fine balance and it's a fine art. It is. But remember what we just worked towards. The data. If you're not tracking data, start tracking fucking data from today. And then you'll be able to make decisions and then you'll be happy. If you need any further help with this, obviously, this is what I fucking live and breathe. So just book a call. We'll chat. See if you're good for me and I'm good for you. And then we'll roll from there. If you found this video useful, subscribe to the channel. There'll be more coming out. And yeah, you can find me more if you want to see some results and testimonials from the team, just check me out on Instagram as well. See you tomorrow.